All right, here we are for round 3. Yes, Dutch. Your cat food bowl is half empty. You're not going to starve, buddy. You're going to be fine. Oh, this is not the hand we want, but it may be the hand we deserve. I would not normally consider keeping a hand like this, but I think our deck has 18 creatures. The problem is, like, it's already mulligan here. I probably have to send this back. It's probably just way too greedy to keep this, because I could draw a black creature and it does nothing. Like, I've got to draw specifically a green creature. Yeah, there's not many 4-land hands on mulligan, but I think that's one of them. This we can keep. And it actually looks like it's going to curve out. Again, we're going to see if these aggro 3/1s do a thing. I guess good news here is they can discard our 2-drop. I don't particularly like Harsh Scrutiny personally, mainly because it's only really good here, but I guess you take the 3/1 unless you just have a great answer to a 3/1 in your hand. That probably means they're playing the +1/+1 counter and -1/-1 thingy. Gonna run that out just because we have some double blacks. It doesn't, again, particularly matter. Zamira, you say? All right, that land is good as long as we draw, you know, like a 4 into a 5 or something. Not planning on blocking, I guess, which is fine. Right on time. I like it. I like it. If we're going to attack here, I need these servos. I guess he wanted to get rid of the servo maker because he had the Cobra. I found those 3/2s that die into a counter to be pretty serviceable cards. You're stone blown out by the combat trick. So I guess the way to make it not quite so bad is to make a block that's awkward. In that he can, we're losing our menace. This is terrible and I don't like it, but I think they've got the +1/+1 counter and -1/-1 to your dude. So like the obvious block is put one guy here, then they +1/+1 this, -1/-1 this, and we're left with a 1/1 against their board. If I do this, then they're encouraged to +1/+1 this guy and -1/-1 this guy, and we at least still have, like, we've traded off 2 servos, which sucks for a combat trick, but at least we're still playing Magic. This makes it closer to a 1-for-1 than a 2-for-1. Now if it's the other combat trick, which is the tough thing about the black combat tricks in this set, we could just get destroyed anyway. And they can also just not cast it. Like, this is already a good block for them. Yeah, it's the Subtle Strike. So we managed to trade basically this card for a Subtle Strike, and they get some leftover value. I get to keep the 3/1. Unless they had 2 of them, at which point the game's kind of just over. I guess we play this guy looking to trade there. It's only bad if we draw a 6-drop, which I think there's like 1 in the deck. We can't beat more Subtle Strikes, but I can trade off here and then trade off there, and we're still playing a game of Magic. All right. Again, I don't like what's happening here, But I can envision a world in which we get back into this game. It probably starts with an Arborback Colossus. And them not having a combat trick here. Like, they're going to draw lands eventually, right? We've got some dead draws here. Things like Hunt the Weak are particularly bad when you have a 0-1. I guess we could use it to make it a 1-2. Malphite Squad's not terrible. I probably have to play it as a 4-2. Because, like, the tokens just don't do anything. The challenge is we end up trading it off. And it's not particularly good, but... like, the servo doesn't do anything either. I can double block. I can also take 5. So that we have a live draw as for like Hunt the Weak or something. I'm probably going to do that. And just let this guy fog 3 damage. Because otherwise the Nature's Way and the Hunt the Weak just don't do anything if I top deck them. I have to have at least one creature in play. It kind of doesn't matter if we draw that. But I mean, we can trade this guy off for that. Top deck Arborback Colossus into Hunt the Weak. And be mostly dead. But not all the way dead. Alright, so they need to have nothing. We top deck Arborback Colossus, and the next card is either Hunt the Weak or the thing that does the thing. Does that do anything? Is it worth even showing? So I kill this, I gain 3, and then take 4. Yeah, we're just dead. Because 2 plus 2 is still 4. Alright. We got. So they're kind of playing a more aggressive version of the deck that I'm playing. Again, the X1s are kind of bad. I don't think I want the Bruiser. I think we want to try to survive until we can just cast bigger things. Like, I think I'd like to top deck the Security. We'll keep the Thriving Rats here, but I bet they get swapped for just something bigger. Maybe even cutting 1 for the 4/5 isn't crazy. Because, like, if I can land something big, we're in business, right? We could play another Oatmeal Courage to counter theirs. I kind of just want to have bigger stuff than them. We could be making a grave error here, but... like, if I can just slam bigger stuff, and I might be able to pull that off on the play. Get a little bit ahead of them, just a little bit. Would you like to play first? I would. Well, this hand, it has the big things I want. We're going to miss a land drop keeping this hand, statistically. If I had a swamp, which I'm a little less likely to do, I can probably play the Essence Extraction. I'm going to try this and see if we can get lucky. I don't necessarily expect to, but your win percentage goes down a good bit when you mull anyway. Like, remember, we cut relatively low casting cost cards for these. The Thriving Rat would look great here. We got saved a little bit by hitting that swamp. And if we get lucky and hit another one, I think we're really in business. So, like, I don't necessarily have to kill the Thriving Rats. I may. I'm certainly going to have them spend the energy on it first. Like, we need one more land and we're in business here. So if I do it here, see, the challenge is if they have the pump spell and cast it here, they end up with a 3/4. I kind of don't care because I can trade this off. And I wouldn't mind them spending their turn doing that. So I think I am actually going to try to clear this. Because the +1/+1 counter saving it kind of doesn't matter. And it looks like we just clear all of their creatures if we can get a 3/4 in play. And we can get a 3/4 in play. We could also play the Malphus squad and try to race with Nature's Way. But I think I like this first. I don't think... Like, do I block if they attack? I'm just scared to death of that +1/+1, -1/-1 card. It's legitimately terrifying. It may look like it's less legitimately terrifying now, but because if we just slam the other dude and try to Nature's Way it, it's awful. Yeah, I don't think I can block that. I kind of hope they cast a Cobra or something post-combat. Because if they don't, I'm not entirely sure what we can do here. Well, we can attack and play this guy, I guess. Or just play the 4/5. That's probably where we want to be. Because that's much safer to use the Nature's Way on. And if I draw another land, I can play this and Nature's Way. I think we have to block here so that if it got the trick, we get it. The downside is it's counting on me drawing a land to be able to pull it off. But them putting counters on this is not exactly the end of the world, because we're eventually going to clear it, and then it'll come back without them. We're also not capable of racing it. Okay. That could have gone worse. Remember, they can't block with that dude, which is kind of its downside. Alright, I think I want the Aetherborn probably as a 5/4. I don't think we need to get in Nature's Way here. It would be nice to clear it while they don't have any mana up. But I'm not planning on blocking this turn. Hunt the Week is pretty exciting too, but I like Nature's Way plus Malphus squad this turn, because if I clear that, so if they've got the +1/+3, then I can Hunt the Week it away too. Yeah, let's try this and see where that leaves us. It is Nature's Way. This should leave them mostly dead if they slam a creature we can interact with. All right, cool. They have tapped out. So there's the Sky Skiff I said was garbage. The thing is, they're at 6 and can't block our Menace dude. Like, they can crew this. So, like, if I fight the Menace dude here, they can use it to crew. Then they've got 2 blockers for the Menace guy, but that means they're dying from these. If they instead choose to chump and trade, they go to 1. I think that's fine for me. I could just hunt the weak here. That kind of gives me the same scenario, except they're just in chump mode. What's the downside? They could trade the Seed Sculptor for this guy. Yeah, they're going to be able to do that one way or the other. Like this just being a 2/3 is what's making this a little more difficult for me. Like if we just run attacks, what happens? Block. They block here. Maybe they block here. They tap this to crew. Okay, so they actually do have enough blockers. So they would crew this here, double block here, take 3. Even killing this is still going to make it fine. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do here because there's so much recursion going on. And it's worth taking some time to figure out exactly what the line is. I'm not sure that I can kill him this turn. I'm also not pretty sure that I want to make an attack here. I'm just not sure what it needs to be. So if I attack here, I potentially trade. If I attack just with this, I potentially trade it for the Daredevil plus the Copter, which is fine. I can hunt the weak and then attack with the other creatures. So like we could hunt here to get a big giant dude, or here to get a big giant dude, like there and there. It's so awkward because that guy's already coming back. Let's math this out because I think we need to win this game. All right, so they've got a 2/3, a 1/2, and a 4/2 that can block. Not all of my guys are lethal. We can force some trades. They can potentially get this back if they've got an artifact guy. I may or may not care. I don't care about this coming back or not. So what happens if I hunt the weak, my biggest dude on their guy, and then swing in? This is 6 power, so it must be blocked, but they can just chump it here. That gives them one other blocker, which is a 2/3, when they don't have good blocks here and here. So they'd have to chump one of these 2. Okay, I think that's actually where I want to go then. They would block this here, trade this here, and take 3. Or, yeah, chump that. So I'm left with this. I think that leaves us with a good board. Let's walk through that again because I'm getting myself confused. So I get this off the board and swing in. Their blocks are here and chumping here, and they take the 4, or they can double block this and I trade it for both. All right. I think that works out to something I want to do. It doesn't matter whether they crew the vehicle with this or with the Scrounger. I wasn't even recognizing the counter mattering so much there either. Like, I was okay with this attack when I thought they were going to trade a Seed Sculptor for it. But if they activate this and block here, they die to these 2. So, like, they have to trade here, chump this, go to 2. Oh, that is the block they can do. Okay, but it doesn't matter what they trade and what they don't trade. Math is really hard. The end. Sorry to spend like 5 minutes on one decision. But like when you're at a spot like that, take your time and think it through. You can do that on Magic Online. I would have gotten called for slow play, I think, if we were at a paper tournament. But I mathed that 5 times and still got it wrong. And still won anyway because I'm a luck sack. All right, I still think I like our plan of going a little bit bigger than what they're trying to do. And trying to minimize the X1s that I have. We could make our top deck slightly better by playing something like the Scavenger over this, but I feel like this is just a way to win a game or go wide. I don't want to fog. I don't want to mind rot against this deck. I'm still not 100% sold that I want Thriving Rats. They get even worse on the play. Like, I don't have another reasonable 2-drop to put in there. Could play another Oatmeal Courage. But I think I just need to accept that these guys aren't going to be great and run this back. I think the sideboarding we've done is the sideboarding I want to do. And may even be a better configuration than the main deck, but they're trying to go low to the ground. We're going to beat that by just resolving bigger things. This hand would be a snap keep with a forest. I guess it's a snap keep anyway, because I've at least got Home Slice to get the ball rolling. And if I do luck out and hit a forest, we've got some good stuff going on. Can also cast our double black, but I mean, I never didn't have it. I'm just going to try to curve out a little bit. I understand that running this guy out can not be correct on turn 1. But I honestly don't mind attacking with it. Like, if we get a shock's worth of value out of it, and then it sits there for a while, that's fine. Oh, the Oatmeal Courage. Do I want to go off curve to get Oatmeal Courage value? I probably do. Although the other option is just play the Weaponscraft Enthusiast and pass. The thing is, like, I'll have to keep going off curve to do it. Although next turn I could just make a servo. I could also just accept that these trade and be okay with it. But I don't think that's where I want to be. They're a little bit encouraged to make the token here, which could make Oatmeal Courage quite good, but they're still not going to do it. Ah. Scared, I see. I like it. I like it. All right. Take a counter here. That leaves us not really able to block the Pima Outrider if they attack, but I'm not sure they have attacks here. Hunt the Wig's pretty good. They can't attack this turn, which is good for us, but well, they can attack with that, but not the dude here. Appetite has targets, but not targets we necessarily want to hit. So what do I want to do here? I can start cranking out little dudes, or I can just play this and try to get a block in. I don't think they have their combat trick, or they would have been playing it. So what happens if I jam all of these here? The combat trick wrecks me, right? They can get this to 6 and get our guys down by 1. What happens if I just throw everything in front of it? So their guys 6/6. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 power. I don't think I need to do that on a turn where I don't have Oatmeal Courage up. So I'm going to take a big hit here and then see if we can untap with some Courage. I guess that's why they don't care, is they've just got all of the Outriders that you could ever want for your Pima-ing. Now this does give me a mediocre blocker, pumps this guy, and lets me hold up Courage. So I think we go with this. But we're going to have to try a gang block to not die, which I don't like, but here we are. All right, you got me. So I think we need to single block this guy with just as much crap as we can and make sure it dies. This does put us very low, and I'm still not sure how we're supposed to deal with this. But it probably starts here, and then hitting something like a Nature's Way for that, and having some of these guys left over. Like Hunt the Weak and Nature's Way would take care of the bat. If they play an artifact to give it +1/+0, we kind of get all right there too. But if you're fine trading that for some servos, so am I. I thought we were going on the beatdown plan, and maybe the turn where I didn't use the Oatmeal Courage to force through the bat is what's killing me here, because I'm looking like I'm probably going to die with it in my hand. Okay. I mean, that's not good, but we've sort of dodged this, right? I think they're thinking I have one too, and they've now just realized that I don't. So pumping this to a 3 doesn't actually do anything. I think we just let these trades happen. I could, again, try to go for the Oatmeal Courage here and keep all my dudes. Do I need to do that? I probably do. I probably do. Because, like, we have to rip Nature's Way and then still have enough blockers for this. Does it wreck me if they have another +1? I don't think it wrecks me. I don't think it's great. So it puts us with blockers for this and need to top deck 2 removal spells. Okay. Well, there's removal spell number 1. So what do I need to block this with? Here and here, which means I could technically attack with the Thriving Rats and the tokens. I could also, I guess, attack with this and the tokens. And just accept that if they've got anything, we're not going to make it. Because we got to kill that. It's got to die. And I don't mind having extra energy for this dude. We've got to put enough damage on them that we can stop them. So my best block would be this and a token, which means I could attack with the rats, the cub, and here. Yeah, let's go to combat and see what this looks like. Because at this point, I would trade any of my guys for that. I don't need to be just stone dead. to the removal spell, but I think I can't, or the combat trick, but I don't think I can play around it any longer. Yeah, I think I like this. Alright, so we'll leave this up. Some combat tricks just win the game for them, but again, the only one we've seen is the subtle strike. Larger than life, you say? Okay. I think that leaves us very dead. But we'll do the math here in a minute. Double larger than life. Okay. That certainly leaves us very dead. I would say that play was larger than life. That's doing it. That's doing it. Gotta love pre-releases, ladies and gentlemen. Well, my Kaladesh streak is broken. 1-2, not exactly where I wanted to get. We got to get back on that trophy hunt. How many people are doing better than me so far? Enough. But we are still on the list with 2 wins. So I hope you enjoyed my 4th Kaladesh draft and my crushing defeat. I think we have learned some lessons. I think we have seen some interesting cards played. Larger than life was not what I was expecting there, but it did win the game. So clearly you should first pick it and play it every time. If you like what you see here, do consider coming by the stream. It's at twitch.tv/Simulin. By the time you see this, I'll be streaming the day after on Tuesday, so you can check that out. You can also go there and watch replays if you'd just like to watch more Magic. You can't interact live with the replays, obviously, but you can still see gameplay similar to this, hopefully with more winning, but you know, you're gonna win some, you're gonna lose some. You can also follow me on Twitter if that's your thing. I'm at Simulin. I most often tweet about Magic and cats, but occasionally other things as well. And appreciate you tuning in. I will see you here next week for some more Kaladesh options and Magic playing words. Bye!